Welcome to the part 4 of Emefiele's corruption saga. My name is Abundance. If you're watching the Street Talk Show, I said earlier in the previous part 3 that corruption slows down growth. It slows down growth. Entrepreneurs are not able to have money, and if entrepreneurs are not able to have money, how do you want the economy to grow? You see, when people right now, I want to be sharing things that are just practical so that we don't look at it from a theoretical perspective. If you look around right now, you have a business idea. A lot of investors are worried. They don't really want to spend their money. If you notice, a lot of people are holding back their funds. They don't want to spend their funds so that they don't go broke. And so you see, people have so many ideas that they would have loved to, get investors to invest in. But most of the investors are not taking the risk. They're not taking the risk. And this is caused by corruption. The banks are not helping. If you walk into a bank right now and that you have an idea, say your idea is going to cost 10 million, the bank asks you to bring a million. Even though they know you can't afford a million, they will ask you to bring in a million. As a matter of fact, they ask you to go and bring collateral, not just a million. If it was just bringing in a million and then they will bring in the other one, it would have been okay. You could borrow it from somewhere, but they will ask you for collateral. The commercial banks that were set up to be able to assist entrepreneurs, businesses to grow, most of the banks are not doing that anymore. They're not doing that anymore. And they still give loans to people on self-recognition. And I can tell you that most of those people that they give loans on self-recognition are not paying back the loan. I was shocked to hear a certain billionaire that was owing bank PHP in those days so much money, so much money. Yes, bank PHP, but later was bought again. These monies are there. There are a lot of wealthy people that are owing banks and they're not paying back. And so the banks sort of take that on the poor people. You see, they take that on the poor people. So you find out that because of corruption, monies for investments are not available. I'm going to go on. I'm going to go on very fast again so that we can move on. See, the governance is actually weakened. When there is so much corruption in the system, the governance is weakened. Everything about leadership is weakened. There's nothing much that leadership can do because monies are flying everywhere. Now, I want to also expand this corruption for you to see what I am saying. Corruption is in the marketplace, not only in the government circle, not only in the big business private sector. Corruption is also right there in the marketplace, in the informal market, where you go and buy something. You pay money and somebody gives you a fake one. Where you go and buy something and you're not getting the worth of that which you bought. That is corruption. Do you know that even corruption has entered the church? I'm sorry to say this. Even in the church, there is corruption. There is no way you can't find corruption in Nigeria. Corruption has pervaded everywhere. So you find out that it makes covenant ineffective. Yes, because the officials are basically prioritizing self-enrichment. Are you aware that there are a lot of offices where people, yes, these things are not made public, but there are offices where contracts are being allocated to the people that are allocating this contract. How? They are given to their companies, their proxy companies, their crony companies. They are given to companies that they are associated with this contract. So sometimes you don't even need to waste your time to go looking for contract because before that contract is announced, they have already been issued. They have already been allocated. within just a few government officials. And so these things are things that we need to rise up to fight. I'm coming. I'm going to also prefer my own homegrown solution, to this thing called corruption. But I want you to understand that we're using, yes, Godwin Emefiele, we're using him as a yardstick to talk about this. So I'm still dealing with Emefiele's corruption saga parts 4. When we'll come back again, we'll share part 5 and then share part 6 and then we will shut down. My name, one more time, is Abundance Effion, and you're watching the Street Talk Show. Don't go away. When I come back in part 5, we'll still talk. Bye bye.